Today I am lighting up the railroad complex at Evanston on my N-scale model railroad. Let's go trackside and I will show you what I'm doing. I'm Roy Smith. I'm glad you could join me for episode number 17 in our continuing series about the layout renovation going on at Evanston. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I'm installing the Woodland Scenics Just Plug lighting system to light up the three structures in the railroad complex at Evanston. First though, let me say that this is not a product review. There are a ton of product reviews about the Just Plug lighting system on YouTube. What I am going to do is show you how I'm using this system on my layout, because you may want to use it on your layout as well. You may want to watch the many videos on YouTube showing you how to connect the Just Plug system. The Woodland Scenics website has a number of such videos. I will put a link to the website down below. As I said, this is number 17 in the Evanston Renovation series. You can find all of the previous episodes in this series on my Evanston playlist. I will put a link to the playlist down below. By the way, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet, and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Now then, let me show you how I am installing the Just Plug system on my layout. A few weeks back, I installed lighting in the Roundhouse at Evanston. And now at long last, I am going to show you how I did it. And I'm going to show you how I installed lighting in the Powerhouse and the machine shop as well. The Roundhouse continues to look like this, all lit up. The Just Plug lighting system, which I am about to show you, is nice in a number of ways. It doesn't require any electrical knowledge or skills to set up. It doesn't require any soldering or wiring in of resistors. And it doesn't require you to buy any expensive tools to set it up. I, for one, don't need any of those headaches. Before doing anything, I had to lay out the system components on my workbench because I had never used this system before. I needed to learn how to connect the components before installing the system on my layout. And here you see the components I had on hand at that time. This is the light diffusing window film set. I wanted to use this because I didn't plan to put interiors in my structures. With diffusing film installed in the windows, you can't see into the structures. The set includes the diffusing film, window tint, and micro sticky spots. You'll see me using all of this in a moment. This is a power supply and auxiliary switch for turning the lights on and off. The light and hub set, which is the heart of the system, and a few extra LED lights. Some people say these components are expensive and there are cheaper ways to light up your structures. That may be true, but the Just Plug system is easy to install and it doesn't take much time to set up. And to me, that's more important than cost. So I hooked up these components on my workbench to see how to put them all together before installing them on my layout. As the name implies, the system just plugs together. I must say that all of the components are extremely lightweight, so much so that they feel fragile. Each component comes with instructions showing you how to put the system together. I guess I must have done it correctly because it does light up here on my workbench. Before installing the lights in my Roundhouse, I needed to cover the windows inside with light diffusing window film, since, as I said, I didn't plan to install interiors in my structures. First, I cut a piece of diffusing film to cover the inside of the windows on this side of the Roundhouse. I still had not permanently installed the roof on the Roundhouse, allowing me easy access to the interior. In a moment, I will attach the diffusing film to the interior of the roundhouse using these sticky spots that came with the film. I used the sticky spots, but I didn't much like them because they are so hard to see. Before attaching the diffusing film to the inside of the roundhouse, I had to attach window tint to the side of the diffusing film that faces the windows. I used sticky spots to attach the window tint to the diffusing film. The window tint makes the interior of the structure appear to be dark during the day when the lights are not turned on. If you look at the prototype, the interior does appear to be dark during the day. You can't see inside very well. Here you can see that I have installed interior lighting off camera. I will show you much better how I installed interior lighting in the Powerhouse and machine shop. So at this point, I was ready to install a gooseneck exterior light on each of the two front corners of the roundhouse. And that's what I did next. These are gooseneck lights. They certainly are tiny in end scale. For me, installing the gooseneck lights was challenging because the gooseneck wires are hair thin, very hard to see, and seemingly fragile. If you're installing more than one gooseneck on a structure, the wires can easily become tangled up inside the structure and difficult to untangle. And it's difficult to insert the wires into the linker, which you see here. These linkers come with the gooseneck lights. They are used to connect the gooseneck wires to the wires that run down to the light hub under the layout. The linkers are difficult to handle if you have big fingers like me. In any case, I got the gooseneck lights installed with some difficulty, and here is the roundhouse, all lit up. Subsequently, I installed lighting in the Powerhouse. You saw me doing this in Evanston Renovation 16, in which I finished assembling the Powerhouse and then weathered it to make it look old, abandoned, and in a state of ruin. In that video, I installed a dimly lit LED light in the Powerhouse to make it look like sunlight coming into the structure during the day. I positioned the LED light so that it is not visible from outside of the Powerhouse, because if you could see the light itself, that would ruin the illusion that sunlight coming in through the windows is illuminating the interior of the structure. And this week I finished assembling the machine shop and was able to install lighting in it using system components that I had been waiting for in the mail. I installed an LED light inside the structure and an LED nano light on the portico. Here you can see the difference between a regular LED light, which is normally used for lighting building interiors, and an LED nano light, which is normally used on building exteriors. The nano lights are so small that you can hardly see them, but they produce an amazing amount of light. Okay, here are all three of the structures in the railroad complex lit up. Let's go under the layout for a moment to see where I have placed the lighting controls within very easy reach on the benchwork, just under the Evanston area of my layout. First, there's the auxiliary switch to turn the lights on and off. Next, an expansion hub with the blue stripe. I can connect multiple light hubs to this expansion hub, and the two light hubs with the red stripe. The lights from the three structures on top of the layout connect to the light hubs. I can brighten or dim individual lights in the structures by turning the dimmer controls on front of the light hubs. Okay, the lights are off. We go under the layout and throw the switch. and now the lights are on, like magic. But after doing all of that, I am still not done with lighting in the railroad complex. I still have to install street lights, including lamp posts and wooden pole lights. And I got this American flag with a spotlight to install. I plan to install the street lights as part of scenicking the area around the railroad complex. Also, as part of scenicking this area, I'm already working on the turntable at the Roundhouse. I'm using a plastic lid for the turntable pit. And I'm kit bashing the turntable itself from pieces of an Atlas N-scale truss bridge. I will finish putting it together in an upcoming episode. Something else I will show you in an upcoming episode is the installation of the power poles that Chris, my friend in New Zealand, made and sent to me. I posted a video about this on Tuesday, showing you the power poles that Chris sent. I will put a link to that video down below. I urge you to watch it if you haven't done so yet, because what Chris sent is positively amazing. Well, that's how I installed the Woodland Scenics Just Plug lighting system on my layout. I am pleased with the way it has turned out and with the effect that it has in the railroad complex. Now then, remember, there are tons of other videos for you to watch right here on this channel, including the entire Evanston Renovation series. You can go to some of those videos by just clicking over here. Thanks again for joining me today. I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.